are back talking about fractions, and remember that on Monday we talked about fractions of a region where we had one figure that was divided into a total number of equal parts, and we had to come up with a fraction for a certain region or area of that figure. Today we are talking about fractions of a set or a group. Okay? Now I want to quickly review for you some terms when we're dealing with fractions. Remember that we write it with a number at the top, and then a line, and then a number below it. The number at the top is called the numerator, and the number at the bottom is called the denominator. You can try to remember that because the U in numerator, think of up, and the D in denominator, think of down. The numerator is up top, the denominator is down below. Now, when we deal with fractions of a set or a group, we don't just have one figure, we have a set of figures, okay? So I'm going to draw a set here. Now, we have a group of shapes. Some are squares, some are circles, some are triangles. Now, if I asked you to give me a fraction for the part of this group that was square, okay, what we would do is we would first count the number of squares in our set. All right, I see one square out of the whole set. So 1 is going to be my numerator, okay? That's the number of squares, okay? Now, for my denominator, I need to look at the entire set and count how many there are all together. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 6 is my denominator. That's my total. So I would read my answer for the number or the part of this group that is square as 1/6. Okay? Now, suppose I wanted to change that, and I now want to come up with a fraction for the part of this group that is triangle. Okay? So now I just look at the ones that are triangles. 1, 2, 3. That's my numerator. And then I count how many total I have in the group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's my denominator. So the fraction for the part of this group that is triangle is 3/6. Okay? Let's try another one. Let's do now for this one, I'm going to color in each one with a certain color. Okay, if I wanted to do a fraction for a set like this, your directions might ask you to give a fraction for the part of this set that is pink. So I start out with the pink part. I count how many there are. 1, 2. There are 2 pinks. So that is my numerator. Okay, that's the part of the group that I'm looking at. Pink part. And then my denominator, that's simply how many total there are in the group. So I count them all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my denominator is 5. That's how many there were total. So I read this fraction as 2/5. Okay? Now remember that fractions whose denominators are 4, for example, you might have this fraction. You can read that one of 2 ways. You can read it as 1/4, which is written like this. 1/4. Or remember 4, think of it like 4 quarters in a dollar, and you can read it as 1/4. 1/4 of the figure. Okay? Fractions whose denominator is a 2. Let's say you had that. All right? You would read this as 1/2. Okay? Because, you know, think about it. If you had a set of 2 total things, let's say 2 circles, and they wanted to know what fraction of the circles are blue. Well, 1/2 of this set is blue. There's 1 that's blue, 2 total, so that's half of the set. So anytime we have a denominator of 2, we read it as half. Okay, 1/2. So now you are going to do some practice problems on I Know It again, dealing with fractions in a set or a group.